Welcome back to another video. This one's going to be about Crohn's disease and nutrition and eating mindset and food addiction and compulsive overeating and all of those crazy things. I have really struggled since learning about Crohn's disease diets actually sticking to a diet. I can tell you about the diets like the back of my hand. I can tell you ways to follow the diet, what to eat, how to cook, how to do all of the things. But personally, myself, I have never been able to stick to one for more than a couple days. And part of that was prior to my surgery. Every time I ate any produce, no matter what form it was in, I would have pain. Even like pureed, well cooked bites of things. Like I could have a smoothie in the morning and I wouldn't be able to eat anything solid for the rest of the day. Because my strictures were really bad. And as I said in my last video about my surgery, that the strictures were so bad, I had 4. They only saw 2 on imaging, and one side of my intestines was just as bad as the other, and that was not seen on imaging at all. It was a really bad long stricture too. They had to do like a larger incision for my laparoscopic surgery, and that's where I could feel took the longest to heal. And so that was part of why I couldn't follow these diets, because you take out all of the processed anything and you only give me fruits, vegetables, and oat flour, and it's like there's nothing I can consume. So I had the surgery, and then I've been trying to start getting on track, and I keep binge eating on junk food. I live in a very all or nothing mindset. It's like I'm either all in super healthy, or I'm eating pizza and candy and all of that in one day. So I've been working with my counselor on that mindset and mentality, that all or nothing, because it doesn't just impact my eating, it also impacts my finances, it impacts how I manage the house, it impacts my work at work, it impacts my productivity for any given day, because I'm either 100% or I'm nothing at all. So I've been starting to meditate more, and I've been listening to other people, talk about, mindset and the way the brain works and all of these things. And I was thinking about the ibd-aid diet again this morning, and I was going through the ibd-aid support group on Facebook, and I came across somebody's comment that, phase 3 works for maintaining remission, and they only shoot for 80% compliance. And I knew this. Like, I remember reading the first ibd-aid study that I read. I remember it saying that the participants were only roughly 80% compliant, and they were doing really well. And that somehow got lost in my mind. And as I was learning the other diets and talking to other people who have implemented the diets or know of them, the word strict adherence was always fed back to me. It was like, you have to be strictly adherent to these diets in order for them to work. And part of that is, doing the diet off biologics. But even then, it was like they'd backtrack and be like, no, we're not anti-biologics. We're doing this with biologics. So your strict adherence, 100% strict, to the point where you can't go to a normal family gathering without bringing your own food because you're eating something way off traditional, American style eating, at least. And then you can't go out to eat with your friends or family. You can't live a life at all. And then, forget the fact that you have food cravings, right? And that you want to sit down on a Saturday and eat a pizza, with your significant other and watch a movie, or 8 hours of Netflix or whatever, that's that. And then feeding into my all or nothing mentality, and feeding into my history of binge restrict cycle, and my own personal history with my weight, and how I've been like that, where it is I'm 100% or I'm nothing at all. That's how I originally lost weight when I was in high school. I found the 5-factor fitness diet, And 6 days of the week, I was perfect. I was eating like 800 calories a day, and I was eating like apples and sandwiches and like low calorie, 200 calorie dinners, like perfect. And then that seventh day of the week, I could eat whatever I wanted, as much as I wanted. And I binged, and I ate cans of frosting, and I went out to the movies, and then I went out and got pizza, and I had, 2 buckets of popcorn and a whole pizza to myself, and then I had ice cream from Cold Stone Creamery. Like, this was all in one day, and this is not an exaggeration. I would save up any food I came across throughout the week that I wanted, put it in a little baggie, and put it off to the side. And Saturday mornings, I would wake up, I'd weigh myself, and I'd be really, really stoked because my weight would have gone down. And then I'd run downstairs, and I'd be super excited, and I'd just start stuffing in all of these things, like, like the little prepackaged little Debbie cakes, like that would be breakfast. I would like 2 or 3 or 4 of those. And then I would have to alternate to savory. So I'd eat like a bag of chips that I hadn't been able to eat all week. And it's the entire day, back and forth, back and forth. It wouldn't be an hour I would go without eating, because I'd just be stuffing my face, because the next 6 days I'm not gonna be able to eat anything. And that worked really, really well with my personality, until it didn't, until I started binging on a Wednesday because I was emotional and I was upset, and then I would hate myself because I'd start binging on a Wednesday, and then I'd be like, oh God, I'm losing it, I'm losing my abilities, and then I'd go harder, during the week when I wasn't eating bad food. I'd cut my calories further, I'd work out a little bit more. I was working out an hour and a half, 6 days a week. An hour and a half, 6 days a week, and eating like 800 calories on those days. And then I would binge the 7th day. It's not healthy. It's not a good way to lose weight, and it's fed my entire mentality with everything. It's the way I'm with money. It's like, are we saving money and not spending anything? Okay, fine. Or are we gonna go spend $4,000 today on literally nothing that we need? And I'll go months like that. Months where it's like, I'm going to eat whatever I want, or I'm going to spend all the money in the world that I want. So I'm learning. That's what I'm learning. And that's what I really, really, really wanted to focus on right now, is that I am learning not to play into that all or nothing mentality. Learning to hear myself when I have a food craving and let it go. Learning that I can cook dinner with my family. I can have pasta for dinner, and the rest of the day can be like, what I'm doing is a mix of ibd-aid and cd-ed. Like this morning I had banana pancakes. It was a banana, 2 eggs, some rice flour, and some baking soda with pure maple syrup. It's a mix of the two. Possibly even, I would even say that it's probably modified SCD, because I think modified SCD allows oats and rice. So I'm allowing rice and oats, which is where I'm like, it's a modified ibd-aid. I like ibd-aid better than SCD, period. And then I went on to the official documents for ibd-aid, and at the very bottom of the document, quick reference, it says, relax. There will be times you fall off the ibd-aid. It's important to get back on track. We aim for 80% compliance. So when you look at the 80-20 rule, it's like you can be 80% compliant in a week. You could be 100% 6 days. And then that last day you have a meal out with your family. That's, or a couple meals off. That's 80% probably. I didn't do the math on that. But when I was looking at like my calories for the day, if I was eating 1,500 calories, 300 calories is 20%. So that 20% could be something not compliant with ibd-aid every day, as long as it's not crazy, but here's where I start to get confused with Crohn's disease though, because I know I have antibodies against yeast, which when you eat it, it could create this inflammatory environment if the immune system's interacting with it. The question is the immune system interacting with my yeast intake if my gut lining is good, if my gut lining is healthy and I eat yeast? I mean, think about people with celiac disease. It doesn't matter how their gut lining is. If they consume wheat or gluten, right? So if I have yeast antibodies and I consume yeast, no matter what the environment's like, right? And then add into that, make sure I'm consuming fiber, make sure I'm not consuming too much fat. that I'm not consuming too many emulsifiers and additives, what is strict adherence? Is it necessary? There's all these diets and all these things. Keeping the gut lining healthy, which yes, gluten in and of itself could break down the barrier. So if you're only eating it once a day, it's not going to break down the barrier. High fat foods break down the barrier. So if you limit how much fat you eat the majority of the day, and then even like the home cooked meals, like things that I would make like tacos are not high fat. They're not. So like tonight I was gonna have tacos for dinner, but I'm using, gluten tortillas because I think for me, I enjoy that better. But the rest of the day I don't eat gluten. Is that detrimental to my health? Probably not. Or the taco seasoning packet has maltodextrin in it. Okay, fine. But if the rest of the day I'm not eating maltodextrin and I'm getting fiber the rest of the day, is it harmful once a day or less than once a day, once a week? If I only have maltodextrin once a week. Ensure. People with Crohn's disease drink Ensure all day long on the exclusive enteral diet filled with maltodextrin, and they go in remission. Is it the maltodextrin? Is it because they're not eating yeast? Is it because they're getting nutrients? These are the questions. These are the questions that make this so confusing and mind-numbing. And especially with somebody who, we are trying to live our lives, right? We have to go to work. We have to feed our families. We have to participate socially. And I'm not saying like you have to live like a Western American diet. I'm saying for your own mental sanity and happiness in this one life that we get, it's one life, there has to be a balance. It's amazing that my eyes are watering right now because that just blew me away. Like, we need the balance. So I think it's possible. I think it is 100% possible that once your Crohn's is in a good place and you can eat fiber and you can eat healthy foods, that you can also eat the stuff that isn't compliant with these diets and be okay. No, my plan for the rest of the day, I'm going to have a smoothie and Applegate Farms turkey sausage, which is clean. It's clean. That'll be my lunch. And then I don't know if I'll eat a snack. I'm trying to eat less in general because the way I see it is if I'm eating the healthy stuff, and I've been having pain, so I don't know if I'm getting adhesions from the surgery. If I'm eating the healthy stuff, I have to let myself get hungry before I can eat again. And I want to make all of this work. So yeah, I mean, my plan right now is to eat healthy probably the first part of the day, and then I eat dinner with the family. Nothing, like I'm not gonna make oat flour pasta for my family. Like eat like a normal person on the healthier side, home cooked for the most part. I'm gonna enjoy my meals out. I'm gonna go out to eat with my family. I'm gonna enjoy the holiday meals. I don't intend to go back on biologics right now. And this is a personal, this decision about these medications is so individual, but I have been on 3 and I have given 3 of them a really, really good shot. And they have always upped my inflammation markers. Every single time I'm on these biologics, at least by the 6-month mark, my inflammation goes. And as soon as I come off of them, inflammation markers go right back down. Right before the surgery, I was off Stelara for a couple months to go into surgery. And my inflammation markers right before surgery, everything was getting better. My inflammation was down. My albumin levels were going up. Like, every single time these biologics destroy my health. Even my Crohn's, I think they make it worse. So I'm not going that route again. But I'm going to keep a very, very tight, close watch on my disease activity. I do have a new GI I'm meeting with in November. We'll see what they have to say. If they have anything different option, I might try it. And just try to keep, every single day, get the fiber in because I know that that's protective. I do the best I can for my microbiome. So getting rid of the artificial sweeteners, cutting back on the sugar, you know, low fat, all of those things that I know. Make sure I'm getting polyphenols and all of that. Like, I can tell already that my eyes feel healthier. They were really dried out. I was having a harder time seeing. And at this point after surgery, 5 weeks, it, like, I can see better. I can feel that I can see better. After I meditate, like, I open my eyes and everything's clear. Whereas before it was like groggy and they were like sticking together. It's like they're moister. I'm gonna try contacts again. I have an eye appointment next week. I will try contacts again because I really would like to get back in using contacts if my eyes could be healthy. So things are going well and I want to keep it that way. And I think I can with food. I need to get my head in the right space so I can live 80-20, you know, not just with food, but everything. So I just wanted to rant about that. I would love to write a book about it if I could ever figure out how to write nonfiction. I can only seem to write fiction. If you have any questions or comments, you know, please leave them below. Like this video if it helped you at all, not even just with Crohn's, but like weight management, everything. This is the kind of mindset that you have to have. Subscribe if you're new, if you like this kind of content, if you know you have Crohn's too and you're just needing to hear somebody through their journey. I mean, I absolutely love to connect. I hope you have a wonderful day and I look forward to speaking with you next time.